All right, fantastic. I'm going to do two things before we jump on in. First, I'm going to share the link to my slideshow presentation. If this sort of thing is helpful for you to keep, I'm dropping it into the chat right now. And I'm also going to share my screen to that same presentation. Perfection. If at any point during the workshop you cannot see what I am clearly talking about, please unmute, shout at me, let me know, and so I can refresh that screen share. But all right, today we are going to talk about content presentation in Canvas. Again, this is good for 1 hour flex credit. If you haven't signed in, please be sure to do so. And if you have any questions, maybe after the workshop, something comes to mind, please feel free to reach out and contact me via email. So let's jump in with some goals for the day. Here's what we're up to with our time together. First and foremost, I'd like to articulate why this is important. Provide a little context for this workshop, why content presentation matters, particularly in an asynchronous online class, but truly any modality. There's something for you to take away from this presentation. Next, I'd like to identify some elements of content presentation from the CVC Oei course design rubric, and we'll talk about what all that means in a couple minutes. Third, demonstrate some content presentation in Canvas. So I have 4 different examples of what content presentation can look like. And those demonstrations are hopefully something that you can take away and think about in your own classes too. And then fourth, provide recommendations. So how do you start? How might you think about redesigning or updating your own content presentation? And then lastly, we have Q&A. Ideally, I like to leave the last 10 to 15 minutes of any workshop for questions as they come up, so we can have a conversation. Again, I only see 13 of us right now, so that's okay. That means we can have more conversation, so I'm fine with that. So these are our goals and objectives for the day. Let's jump in. What is content presentation? There's a couple different ways to think about this, but here's the way I tend to think about it. All right, so when we teach a class at Long Beach City College, every single one of those classes has what you see on the right is called a course outline of record. This provides lots of great information, such as the course description, the SLOs, some assignment guidelines, even textbook information. But what I want to highlight for you right now is this content tab, which shows an outline of all the concepts or topics that should be covered in that class. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and navigate away from PowerPoint for a moment and show you one. I teach Anthropology 4. That's a class in linguistic anthropology. And the content is all right here. And see, it's an outline. General topics, and then more specific topics in the subpoints here. And as we write our syllabi, as we plan our lessons, this is a good place to check in with first. Not only does it provide the overarching topics of the classes, but it also provides an approximate hours, or in some cases, weeks, that we should be spending on those particular topics. For example, here, the structure of language, I'm expected to cover that for about 6 hours. And this is a 3-unit class, by the way. And when you do the math, a 3-unit class adds up to 54 meeting hours per semester, right? So those 54 hours for this 3-unit class are divvied up amongst these topics. So this is where I'm getting my content from. I'm referring to the course outline for the class that I teach. Again, if you haven't looked at this before, dropping the link in the chat for you. You can take a look at it in a bit. Take a look at your classes, right? There might have been an update recently to the content, something that you want to consider adding to your own syllabi and lesson plans. So just leaving that there for you. But back to the slideshow. Here we go. This is a very, very helpful guide, and this brings in what my content actually is. Now, of course, it's up to me as the instructor to bring in my own examples and my own assignments to support these overarching topics, but I follow this as an outline as I develop those ideas. So I often think about online learning first of how would I do this in an on-ground classroom? And I provided here some lists on how we might teach in an on-ground classroom. Things like lecture, seminar, using the whiteboard. I've used the whiteboard for the longest time. I go through dry erase markers, a couple of them a week. The dot camera, or maybe you show slideshow presentations in your classroom. And then, of course, there are plenty of other ways to present content in an on-ground classroom. So here's what we need to think about as online teachers. Some of these transfer very well to the online classroom. Other techniques that we use on ground, they might require a bit more creativity or some significant modification so that we can make them work in our online classrooms, particularly within Canvas, or even if you teach synchronously, perhaps within Zoom. You cannot do the same exact teaching technique online that you would do in an on-ground classroom. I tried that when the pandemic started, and it didn't work very well. So some of it required more creativity. So at this point, I want to pause for self-inquiry. And I like to do this a lot in my workshops and trainings, because there's no right or wrong answer to any of the questions I'm about to put on the screen. But it is something that I feel every online instructor should think about very, very critically in their own experience. So again, you can share in the chat right now, or you can simply just reflect on your own to any one of these questions. First off, how do you present course content online? What does that look like for you? Depending on what you teach, lecture, lab, hybrid, that might be very different, and that's okay. There's no one right way to do it. Secondly, how much content do you provide in your online classes? If you had to think about it in terms of hours of content, what would that look like for you in your classes? Third, does your content go beyond the textbook reading material? And I put that one here intentionally because often online students take a class where they are asked to read a chapter and take a quiz. And sometimes they wonder, well, where's the lecture material? Where's the rest of this content? So think about that balance of content presentation in your own course. Fourth, how does your voice become part of the content presentation? Do students know that this information is coming from you? Again, depends on your course, depends on your style, and that's okay. And then what do you wish you could change about your online content presentation? Do you wish it looked a different way? Do you wish it had more technology and software brought into it? Or do you wish that more students looked at your content presentation, right? So any of those comments are valid in response to that final point there. So again, think about these, perhaps keep them in the back of your mind as we move forward in this presentation. But now let's dive in. Some best practices of online content design. All right, so anybody here who's attended a workshop of mine in the past, you have heard me go on and on about the California Virtual Campus Online Education Initiative, aka CVC Oei. Now, if that is a new concept for you, don't you worry. It's very simple. This group provides a course design rubric developed in 2014 that provides some best practices for online courses that support student success. And they also help us make sure that we're meeting those requirements from our accrediting agencies. So the course design rubric, think of it as a checklist that every online instructor can to make sure that they're doing good work that supports our students in their online classes. There are 4 components to this rubric. Section A talks all about content presentation. Section B, interaction and communication online. Section C, assessment. So quizzes, exams, forums, assignments, all those are under assessment. And Section D, accessibility. Are the online courses we teach fully accessible, including the videos, the readings, the color contrast, all of those things are part of Section D. But today, we're really only focusing on that first point, Section A, content presentation. So I'm going to bring my imaginary magnifying glass and get a closer look at some elements of content presentation. Because there are 14. There are 14 elements for quality course design. And those include, number 1, do we provide objectives for our students? Number 2, do we use the course management system, CMS, for content presentation? And that we call ours Canvas. Canvas is our CMS. 3, learner support. And 4, institutional support. All those things are absolutely essential. But today, we're focusing on item number 2. Item number 2. And that brings up, oops, here we go. The CMS used for content presentation, a couple of items of interest to us today. Item A7, effective use tool. So are we using Canvas effectively? And the rubric states that Canvas tools should be used to reduce the labor intensity of learning and streamline access to materials and activities for students. So in other words, does the class use Canvas in a way that makes it very easy for students to find out what they are supposed to do, right? And I'm not saying, do we make it easy? Do we water down the course content? Do we make the course easy for them? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying, do we make it easy for them to find what they need to do? And secondly, A8 addresses effective use of multimedia. Again, aligned courses, it's believed that they use a wide variety, including text, audio, video, images, and graphics in order to present our content. Right? So how do we do that in Canvas? What does that look like depending on what you teach? Of course, that can vary depending on your program, and that's okay. But let's bring Universal Design for Learning into the conversation, or UDL for short. Again, I brought over that A8, variety of multimedia, etc. Think about it this way. We all learn in slightly different ways, and that's wonderful. I know you've all heard of the visual learners, the auditory learners, the kinesthetic learners, right? So, and I tend to feel that we're all a balance of each of these, okay? Some might be more important to you than others, but they all come into play at some point. But when we design an online class, we want to try and think about how we can provide our content in different options for our students. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole quote from the National Center for UDL, but the last line states, or the last sentence states, in short, there's not one means of representation that will be optimal for all learners. Providing options for representation is essential. So again, that's getting back to when we present content in Canvas, is there more than one way for our students to access that content? Can they read it? Can they hear it? Can they see it? Can they do it? Again, something to think about as we carry forward. Where's my professor? There's more text to come beneath this point, but I wanted to bring this up because there is an emerging conversation in online education about something called humanization. And that refers to when we, the professors, are increasingly present in the online classroom. I challenge you, instead of thinking of Canvas as a repository for you to put content and then students to get that content, try and think about Canvas as a digital learning space where there is a back and forth engagement between students, content, and professors. And part of this conversation, again, is humanization. Michelle Pacansky-Brock has put together a wonderful infographic on this topic of humanizing, which I've linked down here. And what we're really getting at here is, again, near this latter portion of the quote. When students relate to an online instructor as something more than a subject matter expert and begin to conceive themselves as part of a larger community, they are more likely to be motivated, be satisfied with their learning, and succeed in achieving the course objectives. And I hear this a lot. And I have the privilege in my current role that I get to see a lot of faculty courses. I get to see a lot of online courses. Faculty will say, hey, could you look at my course and provide some feedback? And one thing that I sometimes ask them is, it looks beautiful. It's very organized. You're clearly putting a lot of thought into your content. But where are you? Where is your voice? And that doesn't necessarily mean their actual voice, like audio content. Your voice can be put down in writing. Your voice can be put down in art. Your voice can be in video, if that's what calls to you based on what you teach. But what we don't want is for students to just think of Canvas as this repository from which they access information. So think about how we can present the content and that it has our unique thumbprints on it. You know, for me, when I teach anthropology and my colleagues teach their anthropology classes, we teach about the same stuff, but I give a unique spin on my examples, just like my colleagues give their unique spin on their examples. So I'm asking you to think about how you can do that too, how you can bring your background and your expertise into your online course so that students truly know who their professor is. So let's talk about some examples of content presentation. Here's what I've done for today's workshop. Okay, I did 4 things. So I have provided, or I've made a lesson plan, a small portion of a lesson plan for you today, but I did it in 4 different ways. And I'm going to show you each different way. And if this is something that you want to peruse, if you want to browse, you can, right now, you can take out your phone and you can scan that QR code with a little dinosaur in the middle on your screen. Or if you want to do that later, you can join my demonstration course by clicking this hyperlink in the slideshow. Again, you don't have to, but this is a demonstration course that a lot of faculty members join just so they can see some examples of how some things are done. Okay, so it's completely up to you. But here's what I did. I made a lesson plan. Oops, here we go. And the first version is a file upload to a module. The second version has embedded slides within a page with instructions. The third example has notes and external videos. And the fourth version features notes, my slideshow video in Canvas Studio, and external videos. But again, it's the same topic covered in 4 different ways. Okay? So again, if you've scanned this, that's great. You can join up. Either way, you're free to sit back and relax and observe or ask questions as I show you these examples. To do that, I'm going to navigate over to Canvas. All right, and this is my demo course. This is the same one that you can add by scanning that QR code right now if you so choose to. But this is a copy of last semester's anthropology class. And I always preface this sort of sharing activity with this comment. You do not have to do things the way that I do. I show what I do in my classes as one example, as one possibility, as you think about what you want to do in your online course. So again, I don't want anyone to feel like you have to do things the Michael Robertson way. That is not true. But that being said, if there is something in my demo course that is interesting to you, you are more than welcome to adopt it as you like. It is open for borrowing. So back to the topic at hand. Here we are, my 4 items that I have created for today's workshop. 4 versions of the same exact content. And in fact, the content, if you look behind me, my Zoom image of the day, we're talking about the steps of producing human speech. That's the topic. And I've pulled that topic from the course outline of record from my class, and I've put together 4 versions of that content for you to look at. So first one, file upload to a Canvas module. I see a lot of content presented in this way. And what happens is the professor clicks this plus item, selects a file, and then let's say they select a PDF reading or a PowerPoint slide, and they click add item to their module. And when you do that, you have the item here, and you also have that little paperclip icon right next to it. That shows that it is a file attachment, or it is a file upload to Canvas. So what happens when students view this? Well, take a look. If I click on this item, this is a PowerPoint slideshow that I've made. And Canvas takes that PowerPoint and it presents it in a PDF format. Okay, see right here. So I have producing speech. Let's see, I'm going to make this a little, I'm going to fit it. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And then you just scroll down and you get to see the various slides throughout the presentation. Okay. So on and so forth. And it's rather brief, again, for this exercise. Nothing terribly detailed right now. So here's something I want you to think about. If you have a lot of content in your class that looks like this, that you uploaded it directly to the module, think about what sort of annotations you might wish to add to that item. So for example, if my students were to click on that item and see this, do I just want them to scroll through the slides and then move on to the next thing? Or might there be additional instructions or additional information that I would like for them to have as they progress through these slides? That brings us to version 2 of the same content. So here's what I did. Instead of just uploading the file to my module, I made a Canvas page. And then I put those slides within that Canvas page. Take a look. Here's what I did. It's loading, loading, loading. While that loads, take a look here. Look, I was able to type in some background. Right? I was able to say, hey, producing sound takes over 100 muscles. The next time you want to work out, just talk. Yes, that's a bad joke. I actually tell in class, but guess what? That's my voice coming through in my writing. I provide a diagram here, and then the PowerPoint right here. Again, the same slides that we saw on the previous page, but this time I'm able to say, or I'm able to introduce those things. And I'm also to say, please see the slides. And once you're done, click next to continue the lesson. Click next down here. But on the previous version, version 1, I wasn't able to add any text up here or instructions below it. It's just this free floating file that students are expected to know how to engage with without any instructions to do so. So that's version 2. I embedded the slides right within a page. But let's continue. Let's push it a little bit more. And in all honesty, folks, I am not a big PowerPoint user. When I teach on campus, I told you earlier, I use the whiteboard. I don't use PowerPoint a whole lot. I tried it. It didn't really vibe with my style. And so in this third example, in this third version, I did away with the PowerPoint slides entirely. But let's take a look. Version 3, notes and external videos. So here's what I did on this page. Same content, right? But again, I got rid of the slideshow. So instead of having a slideshow presentation that talks about respiration, phonation, and articulation, I wrote up a little summary. Pretty much what I would say if I were with my students in an on-ground classroom. Okay, I wrote that up in my voice. I asked questions throughout. I asked them to participate as they read. And then I also add in some videos from YouTube that I found that speak to this content rather well. Okay, so here it's a singer, and it shows what their vocal cords look like when they sing. Down here is an X-ray of a speaker as they talk, and you can see how their jaw and teeth and tongue move around. So I'm able to bring in these external examples. And honestly, these are short video clips that I would probably show in my on-campus class anyway, right? And then finally, I'm able to say, great, you got that? Let's click next to continue. So students, they receive the content within Canvas, and they receive instructions on how to proceed with the rest of the lesson. So that's version 3. And then finally, version 4, which includes notes, my slideshow video, and external videos. Let's take a peek. Here we go. All right, so look. I begin as I did on the previous page with some typed context and then a link to an image. Then I provide a video, and this video it's yours truly. All I did was I went into a Zoom by myself, clicked that record button, and made a video lecture on this topic. But let's get to some examples right now. So when we talk about people talking, this is straight out of a lecture that I would give in an on-campus class. And it's about 15 minutes long. Honestly, that's a little bit longer than I usually like to go, but it really lays the foundation for some more challenging concepts that come later in the course. So I wanted to spend a little extra time on that. And instead of just pasting a YouTube video in my class, I use Canvas Studio. And the reason being is that I could put this little message here and say, hey, students, do you have a question? Ask it in the comments. And you'd be surprised. I always subscribe to the comments on these. And when students ask a question, it goes immediately to my email. And I really like that because often I'm able to answer their questions in real time. If I happen to be on email anyway, I'll just jump in and I'll provide them an answer to whatever they're asking about. So it's a great way to not just provide the content, but also follow up if they have questions about that content. And then down below my video, I say, hey, we're going to recap those 3 steps: respiration, phonation, articulation. Here's a video of your vocal cords while singing, and here's an X-ray video while someone is talking. So I've presented the content in an audio-visual manner in this video. And then I've also provided the content in a readable format down below, where it's just a recap on what's already been said. Okay, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1 various ways of presenting that content. Dr. Laura, yes, I've had student feedback as to which method they prefer. By a long shot, they prefer the version 4. And a lot of my students really like this tool where they can ask questions during a lecture, and they like the freedom to watch and hear something and or read about something. If I had just provided the slides, then a lot of my annotations, I might tell a quick story or an anecdote about something. It doesn't come through in just the slideshow alone. Yeah, so that's how it's worked for me. Another thing I want you to think about on my slide, I think I put it here, yeah, is to think about the mobile view. A lot of our students engage with our course materials on their phones. And depending on which version of content presentation that you utilize, that might provide a better or worse view for them as they engage on their phones. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how. In fact, to do that, you can do this on Zoom. It's actually pretty cool. I'm going to stop my share and do a different share. And then look, we have the technology. Okay, boom. All right, great. So you're looking at my phone right now. You should be seeing my phone right now. And I'm on Canvas, those same 4 pages that I just showed you on the computer screen. So this is version 1. And again, it's a little challenging for a student to get the whole picture in. Okay, they can, yeah, even zooming out doesn't work so well. And this is, remember, just the file upload to the module. It's a little cumbersome, especially if you have a lot of text or images on the slides. Skipping ahead, I'm clicking next to version 2, right? So this is when I typed up some content and then I embedded the slideshow. So see how the typed content, it fits really nicely, kind of like, I don't know, reading a news article on your phone. And then the slideshow, you know, it still fits in. It's still a little challenging to see. And I can't zoom out anymore. I can make it bigger, but I can't zoom out. Okay, so let's go to version 3, where I got rid of the slideshow altogether. Okay, so students see the image. And then that text, it fits really well on my phone screen. The video fits well. The video plays.
I hope you don't get...
Yes, it does. And then students are prompted to click next. And that brings us to the final version, version 4, Okay, text is all fitting well. My video fits well. They're also able to leave a comment here if they choose to. And then everything else fits rather nicely. So from, again, from a user friendliness standpoint, version 3 and version 4 seem to provide the cleanest looking experience, whether you're on a computer or on a mobile phone. All right, so something to think about there. Let me get out of my phone. Stop mirroring. Hang on a second. I'm just going to stop the share and start over again. That was too many screen shares. Okay. Oops. Okay. Solved it. Great. Rashandar, I see your question. Are there tutorials on how to use Canvas Studio? Yes. I can email them to you. Email me Canvas Studio help guides, and I can send them along to you. And even if we have a little time at the end of today, I can show you. It takes really just a minute. Screencastify work just as well as Canvas Studio. I haven't used that tool before, so I don't actually know. But maybe you could share at the end of today's session and we can have a conversation. Absolutely. All right. Carrying on. How do I start? That's a good question. If you seek to redesign your content presentation methods in your online class, here are some suggestions that I have for you. First of all, make your content presentation incrementally better. One step at a time. I often say to online instructors, look, make your class 1% better every day. Because if you try and do too much at once, it's going to be a very heavy lift. And here's what I mean. So look, going back 2 slides. As you reflect and think about your online content, let's say right now, most of your content is right here, that file upload to a module. And you want to change that. I would recommend the next logical step for you is to move to step 2 or version 2. So you can keep those files, but instead of just uploading them to your module, make a page and embed that content within the module, within that page. So you can provide some further instructions. Same thing goes. If you're already doing that, great. Then challenge yourself to move to version 3. Are you already doing that? Cool. Go to version 4. Get your own videos and bring them in. Add your voice. What I would not recommend, especially since the semester is underway presently, if you are currently at, uploading files to a module and you want to jump all the way down to version 4 for all the content in all your classes, that might be too big of a leap. Okay, so take one lesson or some content at a time and build that up incrementally. That would be my big recommendation for you there. Secondly, add your voice to the course content. Add your voice, and that does not necessarily mean your audio or your video. I know plenty of instructors who add their voice through the written word or by showing examples of their work, their art, their projects, their demonstrations, what have you. But bringing your unique view into your course content makes it more engaging and more enjoyable for the students. And then finally, enjoy creating the course content. And that's not just, that's not just fluff that I put into this presentation. I mean that sincerely. Whether you are making a slideshow or recording a video or recording a podcast for your students to listen to, whatever it is, as an online teacher, I want you to feel fulfillment through creating that content. If something doesn't get you excited to teach that way, then don't teach that way. Okay, but as you think about bulking up your content presentation, presenting that content in a way that students connect with, presenting that content in a way that meets your course objectives, right? Think about doing so in a way that brings you fulfillment to logging into that Canvas course, right? That is a big personal goal of mine, to enjoy what we're doing in the online classroom as much as we enjoy walking into a physical classroom and having a great discussion or a great lecture presentation with a room full of students. We should feel the same way when we make content for our online classes too. So those are three broad things to think about. Here's a little bit more specific considerations. This is going to take time. As I said before, be patient, work incrementally, and try new things. It's okay to try new things, as long as those things excite you. Oops. Second point, start with low-tech options, then keep building. Again, add new tech that excites you. You can completely do this all within Canvas. You don't have to go get the latest software, the best cameras, a new microphone. No, that stuff can be very neat, but it is not a requirement for engaging content presentation. I urge you, start low tech. Start with what is within Canvas and already on your computer. Hey, Canvas, PowerPoint, a little webcam if you have one, that's great. Create content that can be reused. This is a big one. This is a big one for me too. When I first started making videos for my online classes, I would do, let's say like a 10-minute, I call them mini lectures on a video. And at the end of that mini video, I would usually say, okay, class, and make sure you turn in this week's assignment and discussion and quiz by October 3rd, 2022. And then I would end the video. And then just by saying that last point, that last date, I couldn't reuse that video next semester, because then students would say in spring, hey, you said October, but right now it's March. What's up with that? So I urge you, when you create content like a video or even a slideshow, do it in a way that you can reuse it semester after semester, and maybe revise it once a year or once every couple of years if the content is still valid in your discipline. So I don't talk about dates, due dates or times in my videos anymore. I really just use it, hey, let's talk about this content. And I will often update that video content, let's say with the current event. Okay, then that will last me a year or two until I make the content again. Think about how students can contribute to your content. I love this one because our students have a lot of great ideas. Sometimes we might be racking our brain, oh, how can I present this content in a way that engages my students, when the answer is right there in front of us? That, okay, students, let's have you do a project or an assignment on teaching this content to somebody else. Let me know what you think is exciting. Okay, let me know what you think is the best way to portray this information. And often we can say, hey, to a student, I'd love to use that image in my actual lecture. Is that okay with you? And I've cited my students before. Hey, that's great. It's good for them, good for us. And then also think about, depending on your class, what you teach, and your personal style, some types of content might be more suitable. So if you're doing a lab, you might need a lot of demonstration videos. Great. Get on it with that camera and microphone, have fun with it. But if your course is more lecture-based, then maybe you don't need so much video content. Maybe you can convey the information and present your voice in the written word, and that's wonderful too. Okay, so think about not just what you teach, but also your personal style and comfort. Oh, look at that. See you at the same time next week. So I put that question here because at the same time, next Monday, October 3rd, 2022 at 1 to 2 p.m., I'm having an open Q&A session for content presentation. This has been more presentation based right now on Zoom. But next Monday, again, same time, this Zoom link here, we're going to open it up and we're going to say, hey, so it's time for you to share your screen and we can take a look at how you do things and provide some suggestions for you. Or if you see something that you really like and you want a demonstration on how to do it, then we'll take the time and show you. So it's going to be much more relaxed. I'm not going to have any slides or anything like that. Just going to have a conversation with anybody who wants to come. So you can ask your tips and tricks. You can share what you do and how that works for you. But with that, it's 1:50. We have about 10 minutes left. Let's get to the questions.